on this path. अच्छा बैठने की जगह भी है जो अच्छा
Venga, fuera también.
Ponle el coche en la guardia. Yo ya te pongo ahí.
Ven acá arriba.
Ven Emilio
How did they find them? I know why they put that. I know where they put that.
mira la pose del
You want to
gordo
take a picture?
mira la pose mira the pose he's doing yoga yoga man probably oye la cartera
Se llama Seneche. Oh,
I think he thinks we are stupid.
Why did they lock them?
He looks so old.
Always working on his car.
I'm tired.
Now
He's posing.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Monkey Jungle's Cameroon Jungle. My name is Chloe, and the big handsome gorilla in front of you, his name is King. Now, just to let you know, throughout this presentation, I will be tossing King some little bags of his favorite food. The reason I wrap his food in little paper bags is because he's just too lazy to catch it, and if it falls and hits the ground and gets dirty, King will not eat it. So King is a male, and he is a western lowland gorilla. This is one of the 4 subspecies and the only one that you will find in captivity in the United States. There's also the eastern lowland, which are the largest. The mountain gorillas, made famous by Dian Fossey's Gorillas in the Mist, and then there are the recently discovered Cross River gorillas. They were once thought to be a western lowland, however you can tell King is a western lowland because the entire top of King's head is completely brown. Other species of gorillas will have black heads with little brown patches, but none will be completely brown like the top of King's head. Speaking of King's head, a lot of people also comment on its rather large size. Many people believe that that's his skull or his brain, however it isn't. His brain is actually only 1/3 the size of ours. That big bump on the top of King's head is called a sagittal crest. Now that sagittal crest is made up of a little bit of bone and a whole lot of muscle tissue. That muscle tissue connects to King's jaw, giving King a very powerful, very strong bite. It's also the easiest way to tell the difference between a male and a female, as the male will have a much larger, much more pronounced sagittal crest than the female. Excuse me. King is 47 years old, and in the wild, gorillas usually live to be about 40 years old, so he's rather old for a gorilla. However, in captivity, like here at Monkey Jungle, he has health care. So he's expected to live to his mid to upper 50s. When King stands, he stands 5 feet, 2 inches tall, and he weighs over 400 pounds. He has the mental capacity of a 3-year-old child, however, the strength of 6 to 10 grown men. So you can well enough imagine that his temper tantrums can be rather impressive. King is also referred to as a silverback, and many people confuse this with a species of its own. However, it isn't. A silverback is just the sign of a mature male. All male gorillas will develop a silverback between the ages of 10 and 12 years old. King being as old as he is, his silverback kind of looks like a pair of silver pants now. Let's go ahead and see if King wants to give us a better look at his beautiful silverback.
King up!
Sit. Bow. Bow.
You may have seen movies depicting gorillas, and they're often portrayed as mean and vicious. Now that's probably because a lot of people once believed that they were carnivores, as they do have very, very large canine teeth. However, we do know that those teeth are not used to hunt or to rip apart meat, because all gorillas are vegetarian. In fact, a gorilla in the wild can eat up to 65 pounds of vegetation in a single day. King, of course, does have his favorites, and some of them include romaine lettuce, celery, sweet potato, carrot, green beans. He also enjoys a variety of different fruits, but King also enjoys other things too, like yogurt and unsweetened iced tea. So today I brought King a treat. I brought him a bottle of unsweetened iced tea. Just as soon as he's done his sweet potato, we'll go ahead and see if King would like to drink some today.
He likes to chew his food. King, front! Oh, no. Front!
King came to Monkey Jungle around 37 years ago at about the age of 10 years old. But before coming to Monkey Jungle, King was in the circus. Now, we don't know too much about what his life was like while he was in the circus, but what we do know for sure is that while he was there, they removed all of his front teeth, including his canines. Now, as I mentioned to you guys earlier, we know he doesn't need those teeth to hunt or to rip apart meat, because all gorillas are vegetarian. And if you notice, he chooses food a lot like we do with his back teeth, so he doesn't need them for eating either. He does, however, need those teeth for protection against other gorillas, specifically males. So it wouldn't be very wise of us to put him in there with another gorilla. He would be unable to defend himself. That sagittal crest that I mentioned to you guys earlier, that gives King a very powerful, very strong bite, well, without those front teeth and without those canines, that sagittal crest is virtually useless. Let's go ahead and see if King wants to drink some tea now.
King, up! Who's the king of the jungle? Yeah, you are. Ready? Watch out!
Who's the king of the jungle?
He doesn't.
He can't find it.
Ready? Get it?
He likes it. Up. Done.
Up! Funny face! Funny face!
Out. Making him work.
At one point in time, we did try to pair King with a female. However, in the gorilla society, it is the female who chooses their mate. and unfortunately she rejected King. Now we don't know exactly why she rejected him. However, if we were to guess why, it's likely because he is missing those front teeth. She knows he is unable to provide her and any offspring that they may have together any form of protection. So it is in her best interest waiting for another mate. Now, just because King is our only gorilla, I don't want you guys to think that he's lonely. Let's not forget King has been raised by humans for a majority of his life, so he looks towards me and his other trainer for interaction. One of us is here 7 days a week, 8 hours a day at King's beck and call. Let's go ahead and see if King wants to give us a hand cleaning his island.
Daddy,
King, recycle.
Daddy, what's up there?
There's another one.
Believe me when I tell you that King is a very, very spoiled gorilla. So much so that in his night house where he sleeps, he has, I tell you, he will not eat it if it gets dirty.
Wow.
In his night house where he sleeps, he has his own heating, his own air conditioning, his own radio, flat screen HD TV, and DVD player that he operates all on his own with a specially made remote. Now, as I mentioned to you before, King is at a 3-year-old level, so he very much enjoys watching Disney movies. Some of King's favorites are The Lion King, Tarzan, Sleeping Beauty, but more recently, King has grown very, very fond of watching Frozen. However, more impressive than a gorilla watching Disney movies is that his favorite television show is The Ellen DeGeneres Show. Now that's probably because she's very upbeat, likes to dance and play lots of music. She also has a really animated personality, which makes it very, very fun for King to watch. Let's go ahead and see if King will show us what he learned from watching Ellen.
King, up. Dance.
From time to time, King will use hand gestures to sign to me. Now, he does not know American Sign Language. However, over the years, he has developed some signs that consistently mean the same thing. I can also tell how King is feeling by observing his body postures, his facial expressions, and listening very carefully to his grunts. So if you happen to hear King do a long, deep, low rumble, well, that's just his way of letting us know he's in a really good mood. Now, when gorillas walk, they will do what is called knuckle walking. And that is, of course, when they walk directly on their knuckles. It's the easiest and the most comfortable way for them to get around because, as you can see, their arms are much longer than their legs. Also, their pelvises are not strong enough to handle the stress of walking bipedally for a long period of time like we do. They can, however, walk for short distances. Generally, it's to intimidate males or impress other females. Let's go ahead and see if King wants to demonstrate for us how gorillas walk bipedally for a short distance.
King, come. Up. Walk. Up. Walk.
Just the 3 steps.
Sit.
All right, so what's in that giant big bag are King's most favorite foods. In there I put some celery. There's a little bundle of grapes, a full banana, and some gorilla biscuits, which are just like cookies for King. So although gorillas are often portrayed as mean and vicious, I hope you can see that they're actually quite sweet, but do also enjoy their privacy. This does otherwise conclude my presentation for this afternoon. Your next presentation of the day is going to be at 4 o'clock at the Amazonian rainforest. Now the easiest way to get there from here is to take any of these 3 paths heading straight out. Stay on the path going straight and make your first left after the big black colorful Diana monkey cage. Before you guys head out though, does anyone have any questions here for me today? Go ahead.
Have you ever almost fell?
No. Go ahead.
How big can they grow?
How big can they grow? Well, they generally can get a lot bigger than King. King is very old, and he's actually also below average size for a western lowland gorilla. Okay.
How old are they?
Their average lifespan in the wild is between 35 and 40 years. Yeah. All right, guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed.